I don't know where to start. Maybe at the point where everything fell apart. Some pains are like a fever, here one day, gone the next. But some pains are like cancer, slowly eating away at you from the inside, until one day, you don't even recognize yourself in the mirror. The pain I felt was like that. It came from a relationship I thought would last forever. A relationship we built on dreams and promises. But all of that disappeared because of something I call the Z-axis. This is the axis of betrayal, of lies, of the truth that suddenly you became just one of many options. The Z-axis changed everything. This is the dimension where what used to be just the two of you suddenly became 3, 4, or more, but you didn't know it. This is the secret world where you're the only one not included. When I found out the truth, it felt like I was stabbed over and over. Every lie was a cut. Every denial was a deeper push of the knife. The pain wasn't just emotional, it was physical. You feel the weight in your chest, the ache in your stomach. Monogamy, which I thought was a sacred agreement, became the instrument of my suffering. It gave him the power to deceive me under the pretense that it was just us. In my anger and sorrow, I burned everything. The letters filled with sweet words. The photos containing smiles that now felt like an insult. As I watched the memories turn to ash, I thought the pain would burn with them. But I was wrong. The fire died, but the pain remained. 9 years. 9 years I was held captive by the past. Every day was a reliving of the pain. Every night was a battle with the ghosts of yesterday. My friends kept saying I just needed to move on. Easy to say, but how? How do you leave a place where you left a piece of yourself? The pain became my shadow. Wherever I went, it was with me. I pretended to be okay. I smiled. I laughed. But inside I was broken. My world became an endless cycle of anger and sadness. I cursed love. I cursed promises. What's the point of loving if in the end you'll just get hurt anyway? Monogamy, in my eyes, was a big joke. An agreement easily broken. A promise easily forgotten. It trapped me in this suffering because it made me believe in an ideal that's impossible for everyone to achieve. The idea of one true love became poison in my system. As the years went by, everything became clearer to me. The problem wasn't the people, but the system. The system of monogamy. It dictates that you should only love one person. It puts pressure on people to be perfect for each other. But we're not perfect. We make mistakes. Our feelings change. Monogamy doesn't make room for those changes. Instead, it pushes people to lie and hide. It pushes people to cheat just to maintain the image of a happy relationship. This was the cause of my suffering. Society taught us that this is the right way. Movies, songs, books, they all sell the idea of the one person who will complete you. But what if that person is also the one who will break you? Monogamy is like a contract with fine print you didn't read. You think you're signing up for security, but in reality, you're giving someone complete power to destroy you. Because when they leave you, or cheat on you, it's not just them you lose. You also lose all the dreams you built together. You lose the future you thought was yours. For 9 years, I couldn't move on. Why? Because every time I tried to love again, the fear came back. The fear that everything would just repeat. The fear that I would trust again and just get hurt again. Monogamy planted this fear in me. It commanded that I should find a replacement, someone to fill the void he left. But what if I don't want a replacement? What if what I need isn't to replace what was lost, but to add to what I have? The concept of moving on under monogamy seems like an obligation to forget the past just to start anew. This is why I saw monogamy as the cause of my endless grief. It's a system that encourages possessiveness and jealousy. You're mine, a romantic line for many, but for me, it sounds like a chain. A chain you tie to someone and also tie to yourself. And when that chain breaks, both of you are wounded. I don't believe that love should be a prison. Love should be freedom. Freedom to love without fear, without ownership, without lies. And that freedom, I believe, cannot be found in monogamy. One night, in the midst of my sadness, I knelt down and prayed, not to ask for strength to move on, not to ask for new love. I prayed for an answer. I asked why loving had to be so painful. And in the silence of that night, an idea formed in my mind: polygamy. At first, it seemed like a radical and strange concept. But the more I thought about it, the more I saw its logic and beauty. I saw it as a solution, not just to my pain, but to the pain experienced by many others who were also victims of betrayal under monogamy. Polygamy, for me, isn't about collecting partners. It's about honesty. Honesty not just to one person, but to all the people who are part of your life. It's about admitting that the human heart is capable of loving more than one. Instead of hiding and making this feeling a sin, why not just embrace it and make it transparent? If my former partner had just been honest with me and said he had feelings for someone else, it might still have hurt, but it wouldn't have been as painful as betrayal. The pain would come from the truth, not from a lie. And the truth, no matter how painful, is easier to accept. This is why my prayer and my call have been to legalize polygamy in the Philippines. I see it as a more humane and respectful alternative. In a polygamous setup, there is communication, there is agreement. Everyone knows. No secrets, no Z-axis. Commitment is no longer just between two people, but within a family or group, united under love and respect. Jealousy, which is always linked to polygamy, is a product of insecurity and possessiveness, qualities strengthened by monogamy. In polygamy, jealousy can be replaced by the concept of compersion, the joy you feel when you see your loved one happy, even with someone else. In my view, polygamy is more right and more honest. It recognizes the complex nature of human emotions. It doesn't force us to fit into a small box. It gives us the freedom to build relationships that suit our needs and realities, as long as it's with the consent and respect of everyone involved. Love shouldn't be limited. Love should expand. Polygamy, for me, is the expansion of love. It became the answer to my prayers, the light that gave me hope that it's still possible to love again without fear. Because of this, polygamy changed my entire perspective on love and commitment. I understood that commitment isn't about exclusivity. It's about honesty, integrity, and caring for the people you choose to love. Love isn't like a pie that gets smaller when you divide it. It's like a candle that can light other candles without losing its own flame. Loving more than one person doesn't mean you give less love to each one. In fact, it can be even deeper and more meaningful because it's rooted in truth and not in a social obligation. Now my heart is starting to heal, not because I've forgotten the pain, but because I found a philosophy that gives it meaning. The 9 years of suffering are no longer a meaningless nightmare. They are now my source of strength, my testimony. My experience opened my eyes to the flaws of a system we've embraced for so long without questioning. I'm not saying monogamy is wrong for everyone. If it works for you, that's great. But for those like me who have been hurt and lost because of it, there should be another option. My call is simple understanding. I ask that we try to open our minds and hearts. Let's try to acknowledge my emotional state and the weight of what I've been through. My belief in polygamy isn't a whim or a rebellion. It's a deep personal conviction born from intense pain and long reflection. This is my path to healing and finding happiness again. This is my way of believing in love again, a love that is free, honest, and limitless. So I ask society to listen to voices like mine. Don't judge us, don't dismiss our pain. Instead, try to understand why we're looking for a different path. The legalization of polygamy isn't a threat to the institution of marriage or family. It's a recognition of the diversity of human experiences and needs. It's a step towards a more liberating and honest society where everyone has the right to love and be loved in a way that brings them peace and not sorrow. May understanding prevail someday.